Hello, welcome to Trews on the Move. I'm the host of the Trews, Russell Brand. Subscribe here to receive true news, because by jingo you need it. This is the Sun front page today. 64% say I'm not funny. It wasn't like a landslide. I think I did all right in that survey. And YouGov, the company that do it, let's find out who just runs YouGov. Stephen Shakespeare runs YouGov. What was his job before he started to run YouGov? He was trying to be a Tory MP. So the Sun has a Tory voting privately educated editor, a Tory voting privately educated deputy editor. YouGov, run by a bloke who tried to become a Tory MP. Man, they're going to put together a really unbiased survey, aren't they? Fortunately, this subheadline is true. Britain sees through comic. Britain does see through this comic, because here is some true news. I'm going to use a rhetorical trick here. I'm going to say something as if it, oh, imagine if you or me did it. The person who did do it is Rupert Murdoch. If you had only paid a 6% tax rate over a 4-year period, this is you or me, remember, accumulated 7 billion in offshore profits, not subject to US taxes, had over 150 accounts in tax haven countries, and used the money from your tax dodging to buy another company, do you think you, or me, you know, you or me, would be wanted for tax evasion and money laundering? Rupert Murdoch has been able to expand his empire with the help of thousands of loopholes in a rigged tax code written by lobbyists. See that tax code that allows big businesses to get away with it? You might think, oh well, they're just playing by the rules. No, those rules are written by things called lobbyists. A lobbyist is where you give money to a group of people to hassle the government to put the stuff that you need into law. In the last 5 years, most of the 27 million that News Corp spent on lobbying was spent on creating tax legislation that was favourable for them. So we know from the Sun's ad hoc survey run by a bunch of Tories that 64% of people think I'm not funny. Do you know what I think is less funny? That Rupert Murdoch pays people to create laws that means he doesn't have to pay taxes to support a society while running a newspaper that claims to support ordinary working people. Do you think nurses, scaffolders, builders, people that work in shops, clerical workers, ordinary people are benefiting from the mentality that Rupert Murdoch is paying money to get governments to implement? Should we be boycotting the Sun like the people of Liverpool? Should we? Should we be giving money over to an organisation that doesn't respect us? I would say our governments in Britain and America have an obligation to create laws that protect ordinary people from these giant corporations that are using their powers through lobbying to implement laws that shaft us and protect them. For me, that is a statistic worth doing something about. Think of the stories that the Sun are ignoring while they're doing this. Think of all the important things that are happening in the world. Disability benefits being cut by our governments. The Sun didn't care about the New Era state where ordinary families, who they claim to represent, are being evicted until it was through the prism of just a silly celebrity story and an attack on me. Silly. Why are the Sun so keen to protect Westbrook? Why are the Sun so keen to prevent ordinary working people having a voice? They know that if they attack me, the issue doesn't get discussed. Well, the issue is big companies are avoiding tax, ordinary people are getting shafted. The Sun says it's the paper of the people, your Sun, Britain's Sun, but it isn't. It's the paper of corporate Britain. The paper of corporate America is the paper of crushing ordinary working people, of disparaging and criticising people when they're suffering the most, victimising us, turning ordinary working people against one another. It's about exploitation of ordinary people to create sensationalism while ignoring the people that it's supposed to help. This is some true news. True news, subscribe here.
Nose is a tool that is abused to fool you and to leave you scared and confused. Trews is like the nose. If the nose was true, I want some Trews. Let's have some Trews.